Hey, Howard here from 82 Maple. It was a dark and stormy night. Well, not stormy, definitely dark. And my little thermometer, my John Deere thermometer up on the wall says it's about 40 degrees. So it's November, and you know what? We're gonna do some interesting things, but we have a little fireplace over here to keep me warm. As one of my sons says, Dad, what could possibly go wrong? Fuel tins over there, wood sawdust over here, a fireplace here. Hey, we're gonna have some fun and light it up in one fashion or another here. So here's the little challenge, I guess, that I'm working on. I need to cut 7 or 8 solid rafters for the little shed playhouse project I'm working on. And so I want a slope, and the slope doesn't need to be significant. I want to kind of pick up something close to, well, something more than ½ an inch over 12 inches to just keep the rain running off. We don't get a lot of snow where I live. So what I've done is I've created a little jig here on the sawmill because I don't feel like cutting these with a table saw or a circular hand saw. And they're 1 inch thick Douglas fir, and it's just gonna be tough on equipment. So why not use the good old Norwood HD36 to cut this? So what I did is I built myself a tiny little jig here, and these solid rafters are going to be 8 feet long, peaking in the center. And so one end of the 8-foot board is down here. It just worked out that this roller assembly is in the right position to pick up an 8-footer. Otherwise, I would have used maybe a 4x4 or something like that. I would have rigged up something, but this works really well. I put this across here, bungeed it in place, and I'm only cutting to this point. So here's how I got to this spot. This line is 4 feet from each end, so dead center, so that's good. I marked it. Then I took the level and went from this point to the point that I thought would give me the slope that I wanted and marked it. So we're going to enter, the blade's going to enter right here. And as much as anything, I just wanted to play around and see what I could do by creating little jigs that would allow this little sawmill to cut an unlimited quantity of whatever. My sense is that when this is set up properly, I could crank out dozens of these little rafters or anything else. And it's just a fun little experiment and project. So Coral's gonna follow me around the sawmill now, and I'll show you what I did on the other side. You'd probably figure this out on your own, but I'll show you what I did on the other side just to position everything. So just given the length of wood I'm typically cutting, both of these are fairly close together, so it made it super convenient. I just threw down some 2x4s here that I had just edged. They're all identical, and the whole purpose of that was to keep these on the roller. If I was using something else at this end to help me get the required slope, I may not have needed to do that. But that's what we positioned. Now, I don't know about you, but I often overlook some critical little detail. So I'm going to cut 8 of these identical. I'm going to do this slope first, then flip them around, do the other. That's all good and terrific, but I'm gonna do one test cut just to keep me in the game here. So we're gonna fire up the sawmill. It's 40 degrees. Don't be thinking I'm abusing the equipment. This is all warmed up and ready to go, so we're not starting cold and diving into a cut. We're off and running.
I hope you can hear me
me over the noise of the sawmill, but I have this fantastic light kit from Norwood. Coral will pick it up from the other side as well. But I can see my marker here. I put that down here. I can see that I've got my water running as I rev the engine up. There you see the water just starting. I just couldn't get by with this. I do a lot of nighttime cutting during the winter months particularly. So love the light. One of the best $150 investments you could possibly make. Wow, as test cuts went, that was sweet. I think I just got lucky. Maybe it was prep because I knew Coral would be filming and critiquing me. But so I wanted to be low enough that I wouldn't come up here instead of something like this. So that was just perfect, came up in the right spot. The other cut's going to come up and take a little bit off. So now I know that I'm in a great spot with this. I'm going to take and rack up the other, what have I got here? Another 6, so I'm cutting a total of 7. I'm gonna back this retainer off and rack up the other 7 and repeat that exact cut. I had noted on this that I was at exactly 7 7/8 of an inch coming into the cut, so I'm going to reset at 7 7/8 of an inch, and we're good. Still got those 8 fingers and 2 thumbs. Well, there we go. That's not bad. So a couple of learnings that came out of this. One, these boards were not all identical. If I was doing this over again, and this is going to be fine. It's for a shed project. The roof is going to be strapped. So we've got a nice, I'm just gonna pick one of these up to kind of show you the finished product here. There we go. And the water is going to run off of that just fine. We'll dust this down, strap it, throw some aluminum roofing on it, and that's what we do at 82 Maple. Stay tuned.